What is up, guys? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're looking at some more r/am I the butthole. If you're new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe, that notification bell too, as it all really does help out our channel. And don't forget, you can support the channel too, either through YouTube membership or Patreon. It's all your choice. There's totally no pressure to do so. Totally believe me on that. And also, just to address, I had someone message me yesterday saying that they can't afford the membership for the next month, and you know what, that's absolutely fine. Please never put yourself under any pressure to join the membership at all. It's absolutely not necessary. You all support me in so many ways through just watching the video. It's an absolutely massive one. Liking the video and sharing. You guys, I know loads of you do that, and that's more than enough. You don't have to subscribe, you know. It's just only if you want to. And it kind of broke my heart a little bit to see that yesterday, so please never feel pressure to do that. And with that being said, let's get into today's story, shall we? Much love, guys. Our first story comes from Grandma Rosie. Am I the arsehole for pressing charges against my son? My son, 28, was visiting us for a couple of days and was at my house alone babysitting my daughter's kid. According to my son, the other day my 4-year-old granddaughter, his niece, pulled down the TV and broke it. My son told us that he took the TV to the dump as it was shattered and useless. My daughter and son-in-law, my 4-year-old granddaughter's parents, felt very bad for what happened and paid the cost of the TV that day. My husband was watching our security cameras and our son's story doesn't hold up. We never see our granddaughter breaking the TV. All we see is our son taking away the TV that is not shattered. We asked our son about this and he said that the security camera must have cut the part out that shows our granddaughter breaking the TV. Eventually I got a call from my son's girlfriend that lives with him. She said she knew what was going on and felt guilty. She basically told us that our son made up the story about the TV breaking and stole it and took it to their house to watch. I filed a police report and his girlfriend let the police into their house to get our TV back. We do plan on pressing charges against him. He stole our TV and made my daughter pay for it. That is messed up on so many levels. Am I the arsehole for pressing charges? It's one of these ones where I come in thinking, oh no, there's going to be something really petty and he's pressing charges against him. But I can't see how you could be the arsehole in this situation. I mean, what is the son doing? What's brought him to steal from his own parents, man? Oh dear, and to make up lies like that about it as well is just so shitty. So yeah, you're not the arsehole for pressing charges. I think he needs to learn a lesson the hard way. And I think it's the best thing for him in the end. But let's go down in the comments and see what we can find. 3 Fluffies says, not the arsehole at all. If you don't press charges, you think you can get away with stuff like this. Not cool. Frankly, you're not only not the arsehole, you absolutely did the right thing and should be praised for it. I'm glad his girlfriend had the integrity to come clean. It's his first offence. He can plead down to a misdemeanor and get some community service, and hopefully learn his lesson before he does something that gets him years behind bars. Blazing Bolt 2002 says, yeah, how could you be the arsehole in this situation? He's an adult and you can't punish him like a child. He needs to have adult consequences. Educated Vegetable says, not the arsehole. I usually don't agree with involving the police in family disputes, but in this case it was warranted. He blatantly lied about and to a child. Forced the hand of your daughter to pay for the replacement cost of the TV and stole the TV. If confronted, the situation could have escalated, so filing the police report was the right thing to do. What I'm wondering is, what his long game was. Like, you could come over to his place, see your old TV and not notice. Codocrat74 replies and quotes, like you would come over to his place, see your old TV and not notice, and then says, yeah, the whole situation seems pretty weird and poorly thought through. I'm wondering if there's something more going on with the son, like he's an addict or having some mental health issues, or maybe he's just an idiot. In any case, if I were the OP, I'd do some checking on him. And now I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote in the poll in the description for story 1. Our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my mother-in-law to leave our family gathering after she broke boundaries? Throwaway account. I, 31 female, can't have kids. Polycystic ovary syndrome. When I met my now husband, 33 male, I was very upfront about it and told him I never wanted kids, nor could I physically give him one. He understood and didn't want kids either, so we're on the same page. My husband is the only male child out of 7 siblings. My mother-in-law was furious when she found out we weren't having kids. We tried setting boundaries with her on this and other topics, but she's stubborn. After 4 years of her behaviour, we slowly cut off most contact. except for family gatherings and such. She was, for the lack of a better term, third-wheeling our marriage. The past Father's Day, the siblings and SOs got together to celebrate at our home. Husband and I hosted because we had the space to gather safely. Mother-in-law and father-in-law get here. It was going fine until dinner. She had been drinking some. One of my sister-in-laws is pregnant and we're all talking about baby names. Mother-in-law was making a few small remarks about husband and how I would never hold a little bundle of joy, like it was a joke. Then mother-in-law said something like, "Give the baby your last name so at least someone might pass on our name," to sister-in-law, while looking directly at my husband. He told her to stop and she did for a while. Then we were cleaning everything up. I was in the kitchen with pregnant sister-in-law and mother-in-law came in and asked how we were. I said, "Fine, how are you?" And she had the audacity to say, "Not that great since husband's name married you." Sister-in-law told her to stop and she needs to go back outside. But I said, "No, you need to leave, go home, I don't want you here." I didn't say it in a rude tone or yell, just firmly. I know she had been drinking and influenced what she said, and I know I was upset and what I said was in the heat of the moment, but she had never once before attacked my husband's decision to marry me to my face. She did eventually leave with father-in-law after making a big scene in front of everyone about how I was throwing her out. Husband was on my side after sister-in-law and I told him what mother-in-law said, but father-in-law is pissed at me for kicking mother-in-law out and how it made her feel unwanted by her family. A few of husband's sisters took their parents' side and think we, mostly me, are arseholes. I don't feel like I was in the wrong for telling her to leave, but after a week and a half of sitting with it and talking to his siblings, husband is feeling iffy about the situation and thinks mother-in-law was wrong, but maybe I should have just let it go because we don't see them often. Am I the arsehole for saying what I did? Edit. Every case is different and every person's body is different. For me, my doctor told me I was not able to have children at all. I can't have them. No chance at all. And my doctor said it was from the PCOS. But it's not like this for everyone. This is just my case. Edit again. I can't have kids. Your case is not mine, nor is your family or friends. You are not any of my doctors. I appreciate the concern, but it isn't needed. Thank you. Hell no, you're not in the wrong here. I'm surprised the husband didn't pick up on this earlier and was like, give her a good talking to about it, because there's no way she should, even when she was eyeballing the husband and making comments about not passing on the second name, that's way out of line to put you in that position. I'm not sure if, I can't remember if it was in there or not, where did the mother-in-law know about your condition so you couldn't have children? And then the father-in-law being pissed for kicking the mother-in-law out, saying because she felt unwanted by her family. But yet the mother-in-law said to you she didn't feel that great because husband's name married you. I mean, what the fuck? Yeah, I've got to say, just not the arsehole in this situation. But let's go down in the comments and see what we can find. Usually you can find some surprises down there. Anabolic Beard says, made her feel unwanted in the family. A baby from a son won't fix whatever hole she has inside of her. Not the arsehole. Ouch. Taco Commander replies to that, I concur, there is something wrong, and it's not the married couple who are setting proper boundaries. Imaginary Marsupial says, not the arsehole, we have a saying, small children and drunk people speak truth. Taco Belly also says, also clowns speak truth. The father-in-law is pissed that you made mother-in-law feel unwanted, right after she told you that you're unwanted. What a circus these two clowns are from. Sorry OP, not the arsehole. Call Me Ishmael 517 says, lol, she feels unwanted after she told you she wished you weren't part of the family. Too funny. That was my thoughts on that. But let me turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 2. Our next story comes from Dr. J. Fork. Am I the arsehole for refusing to babysit my sister's kids after she said my wife was too smart to be a housewife? So my wife, 32 female, and I, 36 male, have been married 10 years. We have 3 young kids. My wife is a very intelligent woman with a bachelor's and master's degree. She left her job after birth of our first kid in order to be a stay-at-home mother. It was a joint decision, and ultimately the arrangement has worked brilliantly for us. We both find our lives are more organised and less stressed since she left her job. Our house is amazingly neat all the time. We always have nice sit-down dinners as a family, and our kids benefit from having the mother around so often. We are very fortunate that I make enough so she doesn't have to worry about working or bringing in money. On top of all that, my wife still works for her employer on a contract / per diem basis, so she can have some mental stimulation and keep her skills sharp. My sister, 40 female, is a single mum who works at a grocery store as a cashier and has 3 kids as well. She leaves her kids with us sometimes when she can't find / afford a babysitter. My wife is usually the one to take care of all 6 kids. Yesterday, after my sister picked up her kids from my house, I noticed my wife seemed a bit sad. I asked her what was wrong and she said my sister made a remark about how easy she has it being a stay-at-home mum. My sister said to her, "I don't get how someone as smart as you can bear it. Don't you feel like you're wasting your potential sometimes?" My wife said she made her feel lazy and spoiled. I assured her she's not lazy. After all, she is the one who works 24/7. At least I know when I'm finished working. I had a talk with my sister afterwards. For some reason she got really defensive and doubled down. She said, "I don't deny my wife does a lot, but admit it, she's basically your trophy wife." I got pretty upset and told her she looked down on my wife so much that she shouldn't bother bringing her kids over for my wife to babysit anymore. My sister was mad and she said she has to work in a few days. I told her she can find a babysitter or call in sick. Am I the arsehole here? Afterwards, I felt like what I said was pretty harsh, but at the same time, my sister has no business criticising my wife, while I also taking advantage of her as a free babysitter for her kids. Babysitting 6 kids, man. Oh my god, I can't imagine the chaos that goes on. I got to say, like, OP pretty much explaining a perfect life for some people. Imagine that life just like, you know, everything's cool, the house is neat, you're having sit-down dinners with your family, everything's good. It just sounds perfect, right? So it almost sounds like that the sister's jealous that they got this perfect life, and so she's just having these little digs at her all the time, when she shouldn't, because they're babysitting her kids for her. Jesus. Let's go down in the comments below and see what we can find. Andreek88 says, "Firstly, how refreshing to see a husband stand up for his wife. It rarely happens, and I guess this directly goes towards my not the arsehole verdict. Even if being a stay-at-home mum is the easiest job in the world, who the hell does your sister think she is to berate someone who is helping her? How gross. Just to clarify, I don't think being a stay-at-home mum is easy, and I think your wife sounds amazing, especially looking after 6 children at once. Seriously, I would die. Your sister needs to apologise to your wife at the very least." The OP replies to this, "Thank you. My wife is a literal saint, which people take advantage of sometimes. She feels bad for my sister because she hasn't had an easy life. Her ex-husband left her suddenly one day, and we even help her out financially, e.g. when she can't make rent. I guess my sister has always been a bit resentful of the difference in finances between me and her. My uncle left me a sizable inheritance when he passed. Meanwhile, my sister is my half-sister, so she wasn't related to him." And it gets even better there. The wife's empathy towards the other woman, towards the sister. Oh god. And then Andreek88 replies again, "This definitely sounds like your sister is jealous of you and your wife, which I totally understand. But what I don't get is her being hurtful and resentful to your wife's face, especially since you guys help her with the babysitting and partial rent payments. I even get the part of not getting a large sum of money. I have a half and step siblings, and our extended family doesn't always align. This has always boosted certain siblings financially at different times than others. While I agree with you, it sounds like your sister is holding this against you also. It's also absurd to do so. Hopefully she learns this before a bigger blowout happens and your relationship severs." And now I turn it to you guys once again. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 3. Our next story comes from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for photoshopping my sister's tattoo out of our wedding photo? Recently I got married, and due to the obvious reasons it was a small family wedding outside. We didn't hire a professional photographer, so I wound up taking on the bulk of photo editing. My sister, who is the maid of honour, has a tattoo on her arm of the 2 godparents from Fairly Odd Parents 69ing. She has many other tattoos that are more normal, but this one is super weird and I didn't want it in my wedding photos. I previously asked her to cover it up, but she refused, so I photoshopped it out. I didn't photoshop her other tattoos out because they weren't disturbing. She says this was disrespectful and uptight to me, but I think it's okay not to want that tattoo in your wedding pics. For fuck's sake. You know, when I first read this title I was thinking, oh yeah, this is going to be a definite arsehole move. You can't just Photoshop someone's tattoos out because you don't like them. But you know, the 2 godparents from Fairly Odd Parents 69ing, I don't think I'd want that in my wedding photos, you know. Let's have a look at the comments and see what we can see. I pretty much know where this one's going to go. I think, anyway. Swing Mad Cross the Sun says, "Not the arsehole. I was ready to call you an arsehole until I read the description of her tattoos. You're not an arsehole for not wanting a graphic depiction of cartoon sex in your wedding pictures." Sage Advice says, "My exact thought process as I was reading. Title, yes, arsehole. Then quotes, has a tattoo on her arm of the 2 godparents from Fairly Odd Parents. Then I thought, okay, that's weird tattoo. Perhaps a little immature looking, but not harmful, and still the arsehole for photoshopping it. Then quote, 69ing. What the fuck? Not the arsehole. Trans Leon Kennedy says, yep, went from, of course you're the arsehole, to not the arsehole in record time. Split Hoofy Woofy says, it really did. I whiplashed so fast my eyes are still rolling back up the street. Oh god. What do you guys think of that story? If you was hypothetically married or getting married or have been married and someone had a tattoo of like, I don't know, some sex scene on their arm, would you want that photoshopped out or would you leave it in? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. Our next story comes from 4546 Lego. Am I the arsehole for refusing to pay for my homophobic dad's medical bills? Throwaway because my friends know me on Reddit. Up to you what you want to believe, not my business. I got kicked out when I came out as gay in my senior year of high school. I had to support myself. There were days where I, 28, would barely eat. I had nowhere to go. My extended family is not from the US. We're alone here. I would never ever forget those disgusting words said to my face on my way out. They made me suffer. I even thought of the unthinkable. These fucks didn't even bother to check up on me. Not even a sliver of remorse. I managed to pull myself together, put myself through college without their help. Now I have a high paying job as I approach my late 20s. I've never heard from them until I received a call from my mum who begged for it from someone in my Facebook list. She was crying, hysterical that my father could die and they didn't have enough money for treatment. I said to her, why not ask my straight brother, 32, for money? If he can't afford it, better pray for a miracle. You don't want to take any help from the devil, remember? I've never thought about them for almost a decade and suddenly they come begging. The nerve. I was filled with rage after hanging up. Every bad thing that happened to me after being made homeless, it all came rushing back. They chose their religion over me. In doing that, they effectively killed their son. The son that loved them and begged them for their love is dead and he will never come back. I'm filled with anger even as I type this. Am I the arsehole for returning everything they've done for me? You know, usually I'm someone who says like, if you have a chance of bringing a family back together and all this kind of thing, I'm all for it. But you know, reading this, you can read the pain in those words that he's gone through. You know, they clearly called him a devil at some point for being gay. You know, he went and got his life back together and then they come begging to him. I think I'd feel pretty much the same as OP in this situation, would not want anything to do with them. Especially it's in a whole decade until they come begging. But let's go into the comments and see what we can find. Blades Queen says, not the arsehole. Give the money to a homeless trans person and pay it forward. They kicked you out. They don't want anything to do with you. Way more people more deserving need that money, especially right now. OP replies, thank you, I might just do that to feel better, simmer down from seething anger and help someone who is helpless as I was. Reading Red Head says, this would be a beautiful outlet for it. Bring good from their hate. Arcane Apparition says, not the arsehole. People can't treat others like shit and expect pity when things get bad. Don't matter who they are. Don't let this stir up bad memories and put you in a bad headspace. Bone Dr. JD says, not the arsehole. If they didn't try to contact you all this time, they don't care about you. They just want your money. Side note, I'm sorry you had to deal with that and I'm glad you found a way to get past it. Just keep doing you and know you aren't alone out there. Hence Wench89 says, not the arsehole. They kick you out because you're gay. And now after a decade of no contact, they come asking for money. Nope, just nope. For your own mental health, change your number and maybe post something on Facebook about how no one is to give out your phone number without your permission. You didn't have to give the whole story about why. Maybe just a general people you cut from your life and are trying to get in contact and you don't want to hear from them. And once again guys, let me know what you think of this story in the comments below and don't forget to vote on the poll in the description for story 5. Our next story is from Last Year Triple Tier. Am I the arsehole for demanding my brother spend less time with my kids? My 40 female brother, 48 male, is someone who I've always loved. He's helped me a lot in my life and that includes when it comes to my children. However, lately he's been spending a lot of time with them. He's been buying them gifts and him and his husband in the last 12 months taken our children on many trips. This has caused an upset because quite frankly, our children are ours and they seem to think they're theirs. I asked why later. Well, more demanded why. He told me that he realised he was too old to have children because of something outside of his control. He was never able to adopt or anything like that. We live in a relatively homophobic country, so said he decided it'd be better to spend time with my kids. But the amount of time has become unacceptable, so I said he could see them at the same rate as our fellow siblings at special events. Now he's upset because he can't even pretend to himself he can parent. I mean, to be fair, because of the feelings towards homosexuality here, he probably can't even foster, and over the years he had given me many resources to help the kids. But they're mine and he can see them just like my other brother. Not my problem he can't have kids, why should I care? We're talking about children here, not a plant. He can't get a dog or something, or move somewhere more accepting. He has no justification for being upset. Am I the asshole? Yes, you're an asshole. The story starts off with like he's helped me a lot in my life and take the kids on trips and all that kind of stuff. You know, and he sounds like just a great brother. A great brother that's helping you with your own children and help look after them. And the kids are probably really happy with all this sort of stuff. They're probably not complaining. So why are you complaining? It's like, oh, they're my kids, so you can't do that. And then at the end, when you say, not my problem, you can't have kids, why should I care? Just the lack of empathy there. We see that a lot in these posts, just no empathy on the arsehole ones anyway. So it's just, you know, OP is an arsehole in the situation, in my opinion. But let's go down to the comments and see what we can find. The first comment says, you're the arsehole for why should I care? Nothing else that you wrote even matters. You love him and he's helped you a lot in your life, but you don't care about the heartbreak he feels over an unfulfilled dream due to discrimination and homophobia. Wow. RGD 1983 replies, real hard to figure out why OP's kids would rather hang out with their uncle, huh? Dixie Kong Country says, you're the arsehole. Also an arsehole for not considering your children. They clearly like spending time with your brother as well. Now you won't even let them see him more than other family members during special events. You're very petty and being jealous of your own brother sounds pretty ridiculous. It Read on the Ground said, you're the arsehole. Jesus, I hope you're a troll. It sounds like your brother, who by your account has been relentlessly loving and supporting of you, is having a deep life crisis in a hostile country. Yes, it doesn't mean that he gets to take over your children, but not my problem, why should I care, is such an arsehole thing to say. What he needs is gentle support. What you needed and he gave you. This is appalling behaviour from you. Floridisa says, you're the arsehole. It sounds like you're jealous of the time he spends with them instead of appreciating it. Just because your kids love him and spend time with him doesn't mean they love you less. There's a lot of crap in this world, and the more people that truly love your children, the better. MD Goalie Guy says, you're the arsehole times 1,000,000. He's done so much for the betterment of you and your kids, and your payback is to say it's not your problem, that he wants to be in their lives. He's doing so much for them and you're acting selfish. I can only hope his given nature takes a 180-degree turn. And for the final time, I turn it to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 6. Anyway guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you did enjoy these stories. If you did, you know what to do. Click that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too. And don't forget you can support the channel, and as I said at the start, only if you can afford it and you really want to. There is absolutely no pressure. The time out your day is more than enough for me, and you absolutely blow my mind with your support. So thank you so much. And there's another video on the screen right now if you fancy a bit of that too. Take care now guys. Much love. Bye bye.